Startup Podcast PH is co-produced by Sprout Solutions, Aperon, and Aim High. Check out our partners in the description. BYC, formerly Bayani Chain, is a blockchain ecosystem that creates Prismo, designed to empower governments, enterprises, and communities with secure, scalable, and decentralized solutions. It enables tokenization of assets such as stablecoins and physical goods, while integrating blockchain with real-world applications like the Department of Budget and Management's blockchain initiatives. Paul Soliman is co-founder, CEO, and CTO at Bayani Chain. Hello, Paul. Welcome to Startup Podcast PH. We're very happy to have you.
Hi, Johnny. What's up?
Ayun, grabe, I'm so excited to interview. Actually, medyo matagal na ako hindi nakapag-interview ng blockchain-based company sa Pilipinas, lalo na may ginagawa itong blockchain initiatives and solutions for some very important organizations sa ating bansa. Pero wag natin patagalin pa, Paul, no? Ano nga ba ang BYC or ang Bayani Chain and even yung Prismo na blockchain na ginagawa nito? Is that right?
Yes. So, BYC, it's a blockchain ecosystem and venture. So, we have companies under us and also products. First is we have the Likha platform, Likha NFT platform, which, an NFT marketplace, firstly, but we pivoted to becoming a platform for certificate of authenticity. Right. So meaning we put anything that is created, and they can claim their ownership of that particular creation, whether it's art, whether it's IP, intellectual property, etc. And also Bayani Chain or BYC created or still creating, developing the Prismo Layer 2. It's a blockchain solution that sit on top of Ethereum blockchain, and it is designed and built on Polygon CKEVM. So our blockchain layer 2 solution is very specialized for enterprises and government. Meaning the normal blockchain is just public, but Prismo has public and private design for us to be able to still maintain privacy of data.
Mm. Yeah, actually, those are good, for me, those are actually good explanations. Somehow, na laymanize natin. Kasi, before, lalo na parang 2 years before, 3 years before, for many people, very jargonish pa ang blockchain technology, ang Web3 space, Pero, I think that's actually quite a very precise din na explanation kung ano nga ba ang ginagawa ni Bayani Chain for the organizations. Pero siguro, let's make it clearer pa. So for example, for an enterprise or for a government agency or office, so parang paano niya malalaman that they need blockchain technology? Ano ba yung parang specific na challenge maybe for them na kung saan pwedeng pumasok at makapag-solve ng problem ang blockchain and si Bayani Chain?
Sure. Well, just to explain, blockchain, not only with enterprise, but in layman, have maybe hundreds of talks already about blockchain in whole organization and even, some community. I always explain, I'm wearing color black, right? And you, Johnny, of course, you'll agree that I'm wearing color black. And
Yes.
also our viewers, diba? Maybe they agree. So imagine yourself as a computer, no, that is deployed in the world. So these people that says that Paul is wearing color black are computers in the world, right? And if they said yes and you, Johnny, said yes, it means that you're doing consensus mechanism already, meaning you agree that I'm wearing color black. Now, why is that blockchain? Because blockchain has consensus mechanism, transparency, openness, and immutability. So how does it happen? If any of you, the viewers, will say that I'm wearing color white, which is not true, right? That specific person will be out of the chain, meaning that specific person will be technically tagged as fraud. No, of course there are technical terms for that, but I'm gonna use the word you're gonna be out of the chain right now. The reason also why blockchain is, of course, everything is hackable, but blockchain is very hard to hack It's going to be a challenge for someone who want to breach the whole network, because if you want to change something, all right, let's say for example, I want to change Paul's t-shirt to color white, right? But every one of you said that I'm wearing color black, right? If you want to change that story that I'm wearing color white, you need to convince all the people that said yes, all the computer in the world. Now, what if those computers are 100 or 200, right? Maybe Bitcoin has around hundreds of thousands of computer. Ethereum has around hundreds of thousands of validators computer. So if you're the hacker, how can you now breach or edit, right? Or delete or drain, right? Now, that technically blockchain is in a very layman explanation, right? It has a consensus mechanism. Everyone will see that if I go to blockchain or check the ledger, they can see that Paul is color white, is wearing color black, which is the data. Imagine that I'm the data. So that's blockchain.
Actually that's a very good ano, that's a very ang galing I mean, personally, I'm very amazed 'no, na ang ganda ng explanation. So, parang consensus mechanism basically naman 'yan yung parang ano, parang way na ang dalawang tao or more ay mag-a-agree sa isang katotohanan, right? So, except medyo magulo na ang mundo ngayon ano, I mean basically kung dalawang tao lang kayo, you see both things, madali lang mag-agree ano, pero kung maraming tao 'yan and kung merong mga mga false information or mga other factors, kailangan ma-establish yung truth. So, I think yun ang ginagawa ng blockchain, parang way siya para ma-manage ng maraming computers yung pag-establish ng totoong truth. Now on the naman, so parang on the enterprise, I mean, I think this is parang related sa security, right? So, on the enterprise and on the government's perspective, so ang main factor ba is like security, and what exactly do they need that kind of security for?
Hmm. Well, security is like, in a way, it's innate on that. But more than that, it's really the immutability of the transaction. No? So, the
Ah,
immutability, let's say, for example, with our project with Department of Budget and Management, what we are tokenizing there or putting something on blockchain is what we call the SARO, Special Allotment Release Order, which is something that DBM issued to government agency. No, for them to be able to like issue a budget, no, or whatever budget allocation it is. Now, um, is that publicly available, Paul? Yes, it's publicly available, but currently it's not on chain. So the idea there, because of course, with some very technocrat and also very good um undersecretary Yusek Sasa, like agree with the idea that okay, since this is public and this is also like a document that needs to stay there forever, and and of course protection for editing, no, or counterfeiting this
hmm.
document. So why not let's put the Saro on chain, right? So see, is there any protection or security layer for that? Yes, because if you put that specific document on the blockchain itself, for example, you got ransomware or whatever that this hacker trying to hack you through ransomware, through an entry of that, even if they delete all of your files, it's not gonna happen anymore because it's already on chain.
Oh, I want to say ang galing ano, pero baka yung mga nakikinig nito masyadong ma-OA yan. Pero actually ang galing gets ko na ngayon. Ngayon ko na actually na-gets ang essence ng blockchain. So first of all, ayun nga, immutability para sa kumbaga anti-hackers, yung mga hackers na babaguhin yung information na nandun sa isang computer. So with blockchain nga, I believe na parang network din ba ang blockchain ng mga computers? Is it a network ba? Parang network
It's
siya na
nodes.
once they validate the truth, forever true na yun kasi yun na yung nasa chain.
Yes,
Pag
that's true.
baguhin mo man siya, you're out of the chain na. Ibang
Yes.
kumbaga ibang truth,
Or
ibang
or you
na yun,
cannot
ibang
really edit that.
yeah,
Because yeah.
you cannot change the truth na consensus na nung
Yes.
kabuuan ng chain.
So
So
sometimes
yes, go ahead.
yeah, sometimes it's hard to grasp as well that Paul, pag nagkamali kami, di na namin mababago. Yes, that's the
Ah,
rule. So if you want to change it, you need to create an amendment, no? It's like, well, we can dive into smart contract and everything like, related to it on a technical level. But in layman, that's correct, no, Johnny? Like it's the database of truth. Even
Mm.
if that is incorrect, or even if that is not the truth, as long as you put that on chain, it's gonna be the truth
Mm.
on that specific level.
So 'pag establish nga ng truth na mapoprotektahan mula sa mga hacker na magbabago ng information dito. So parang meron din pala siyang pag-aano 'no, against sa revision pag-revise ng na-establish ng katotohanan. So hindi na mababago ang katotohanan na na-establish na ng particular organization, let's say government or maybe a business na ayun ano. So, ayun 'no, so ano naman, parang speaking about the exact like solution that you're offering. So paano siya basically gumagana? Kumbaga paano niyo dine-deploy? How do you work together with the Department of Budget nga? Department of Budget and Management, yeah. So how do you exactly do that? How do you exactly provide the solution for them?
Mm. Actually, the platform itself, the back end, the blockchain itself is already built, as we mentioned, because we use Ethereum based blockchain, which is Polygon, layer 2 blockchain. It's there. I mean, it's working. Even tomorrow, we can put transaction there, or even today. No. Now what the thing that we do, not only with DBM but in our other clients, it's of course, if I'm gonna go back to Web 2 kind of implementation, you still need to gather data. You still need to, look at the processes. So like I always say, no, in my classes, sa mga student ko, like, blockchain is not the silver bullet, no, for all the solutions. Same as with AI, same as with any technology. They're not the silver bullet in a way that people sometimes over engineer a specific product. Like, because uso yung blockchain, lalagyan mo na, hindi naman kailangan. Tapos yung AI, lalagyan mo. Diba? So that's sometimes that's the issue. So yeah, so for us, we go to the low hanging fruit. What pain points can be solved specifically for blockchain? And again, the like, our template is always, if that specific document, data, all right, or whatever it is, or even like cryptos later tokens, if you don't want it to be edited and if you want it to be immutable, then let's have a workshop. We will draw how to do it, and then we will put that on chain.
Tsaka exactly din naman I think for DBM na kasi this is financial, kumbaga this is financial information of the whole country ano. So mahalaga
Yep.
nga na gawin siyang immutable din ano. But
Yes,
siguro
yes.
lang for ano 'no, for other maybe ano yung possible other use cases pa, for other offices or for businesses exactly. So siguro baka lang kasi may nakikinig na interested din na makipag-work together with Bayani Chain ano. So sino pa ba yung parang pupuwedeng makinabang din dito and how exactly?
Recently, we launched the prototype for IP Office of the Philippines, which has the project there is the digital copyright, no. So a digital copyright is, something that of course you need to apply for you to be able to have a copyright. You go to the IP Office website, you apply, etc. So currently, it's not being done on chain, no. So there's a chance that this copyright can be fake or can be edited, right? Same as with
Hmm.
the principle of, like, what we did for DBM, it's the same. Technically, if you're the creator, no, of that specific maybe lyrics of the song, or the trademark of the logos, no, something like that. You want to make sure that you're the only really one who has that, right? And IP Office check that. So blockchain give it a timestamp, no, meaning that I am really the owner of this specific art, specific maybe song, no? And now, magagawa mo ba yan sa hindi blockchain na computer or database, no? If I'm gonna use that term. Actually, you can, but the problem with that is, if you're just gonna use a normal database to get the timestamp, there is like a possibility that, well, you got breached. And number two, what if your computer shut down, especially if you're in the local, you're not into cloud, etc. So there's a lot of things that can happen. And actually, there's no consensus mechanism for a normal database. Can you do that yes, you can do that, but you're gonna spend a lot of money for you to be able to do that, and lot of technical, creation or new technical things. So why not use blockchain? Because it's ready already.
Mm. So, bigyan natin ng picture in what I see. So, pinakamababang level of parang authentication, may certificate ka lang na binigay sa'yo. Pero puwedeng maano yun, ma-recto kumbaga maano lang, so walang way to check. Puwedeng i-check yun sa isang database na local. Kung local lang, puwedeng na-breach nga yun, puwedeng ma-hack, puwedeng ma-falsify yung information. So, kung verify nga yung certificate, mali din naman yung database. On the highest level naman, si blockchain, since immutable siya, yung katotohanan dun, yun talaga yung katotohanan na even before
Yep.
in-establish na truth. So yun yung parang pinaka-verifiable na database ng authenticity nung IP for example or nung patent maybe or nung logo, nung trademark, etc. Right? Tama ba yun?
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
Interesting.
Is payroll processing taking too much of your time? Introducing Sprout Payroll Starter. For as low as 5,000 pesos per month, you get a team of experts to help you with your payroll and HR needs. We'll help compute and process payroll, handle all your government compliance requirements, and automate timekeeping. Leave the payroll to us so you can focus on growing your business. Enjoy peace of mind with Sprout Payroll Starter.
Ayun, so actually I have a lot of questions pa 'no, pero you mentioned kasi kanina na you're a teacher din and ang dami kong gusto tanungin sa iyong story. So punta muna tayo sa iyong story. So Paul, in the first place, sige, can you tell us more about your background and paano ka napunta sa mundo ng blockchain?
Maybe I can tell you a story paano ako napunta sa tech, no, in general.
Mm.
So, yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I'm really into computers. My dad enrolled me into this computer tutorial. I was a 90s kid, no. So well in the 90s, you know that we have this the first, no, yung mga releases ng LAN games like Counter-Strike, etc.
Oo,
And
nagko-com shop ka rin ba dati?
the very boom, 'di ba, of computer shop is in that era or yeah, period. So, yeah, I used to cut classes. I don't really I so ever since I go to class, I'm not really into academics. Basta I want computer, then that's it.
Hmm.
In fact, the reason why, but I just recently diagnosed as ADHD, but yun pala yun. Kaya pala, like, I don't really like another topic, no? But, I'm not failing, but at the end of the day, mababa yung grades ko because I really don't want other topics. No? But pagdating sa computer, I mean, I'm really into it, no? I love breaking things, I love building things, etc. So when I was in college, I dropped out of college. And my last thesis is a robot, no? It was in 2009. 2008 pala. So my thesis was a robot which like the vacuum robot, 'di ba? Kung familiar ka diyan. So 2008 pa lang tayo, I have a vision already to create that robot.
Oh.
Of course not perfect, no? Kasi that time, 'di ba, I'm a student, di ko naman kayang i-afford yung mga mamahaling sensors and all. But I was able to program a PIC. Dati hindi pa uso yung mga Raspberry Pi,
Mm.
Arduino, yung mga IoT devices right now that you can program easily. So before, no, we use assembly to write codes, etc. So yeah, then so I was mesmerized by tech. Then I dropped out. Then after dropping out, I was able to land a job in Starbucks Philippines. So I
Oh.
was able to get hired. Then of course, I finished some sort of my ano naman, pero ayoko nang bumalik, no? Parang I don't care about the diploma already. So because I earn money na. So yeah, I started my career in Starbucks Philippines. So if you're familiar with Starbucks cards, so like those are my projects.
Oh,
Kasama ako. I'm
wow!
not really naman who invented it, but I was
Yeah.
part of the team. Maybe we're just two person who really started that na wala idea because every country has Starbucks card, but more of like how do you implement that on a technical level? Then from there, I was able to get exposed into Microsoft technology like the ERP, enterprise resource planning, accounting system, inventory, CRM, etc. So my orientation of tech, right? If you will see me like as a developer and also as a technopreneur now, I'm not into like consumer tech like e-commerce, ganyan. So I'm more of a tech guy, but I specialize on back end stuff like ERP systems.
Mm.
That's why if you will see our product in blockchain, in Bayani Chain or BYC, or even in my other companies like Hacktiv, I really do B2B tech. Uh,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, then
Yeah, that makes
I co-founded Hacktiv in 2020. In the middle of pandemic, we started 3 people. Then now we grew to 40.
wow.
I Yeah, then but in terms of blockchain, no, so sorry, going back. I when I read the Bitcoin white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, I read that 2011. But of course, it was released around 2008. So bata pa ako noon, 'di ba? Nagbabanda pa ako niyan. So I
Oh,
don't.
wow.
But I read that in 2011 I was already like working, no, again sa Starbucks. I was really fascinated about it. I know I have a vision that it will stay. It's gonna be the next database, but I'm not really a finance guy and trader, so I don't really invest in Bitcoin, diba? Then 2015 Ethereum last in a way was launched, no? Then Ethereum is a programmable blockchain already. You can, because of the smart contract, you can really program something. Then fast forward to 2021 after the bull run, when the bull run is happening, meaning mataas yung may NFTs, di ba? Then I think when NFT, another use case of blockchain, for example, NFT, hindi na siya crypto lang, then that's a time I think sabi ko I can now create a company for this. So
Mm.
since 2020 lang yung entrepreneurial journey ko, but from 2019 backwards, I'm really a corporate guy.
Actually, that's interesting. Actually, I have a question pala dun sa ano, kasi, um, in the Philippines actually, and thank you din sa pag-share ng iyong story. I think marami medyo yung makaka-relate dun sa story na parang, they dropped out of class kasi that doesn't interest them, pero they really love tech, they really love computers. I personally know a lot of people like that, ano. So now, on that story, first question, paano ka napunta sa Starbucks Philippines? Kasi I mean, for them, sometimes they feel lost, eh. Anong gagawin nila na parang they feel rejected by society dahil sa yung hindi sila pasok sa academic structure, pero they're actually super talented, eh. So, paano nangyari yun? And then second, paano ka napadpad sa Bitcoin white paper or dun sa paano mo nakita si Ethereum? Are you just browsing? Are you just parang curious about what's the technology out there? Ayun. Kumbaga paano
Yeah.
nagka-direction kumbaga?
Yes. So yeah. Well, technically, I was able to be given a chance, no, kahit paano that my mom like someone that yung anak ko
Mm.
parang lang ng laro eh, parang uh, can you give him a job, di ba? Parang ganun. So sige, sabi ko, and then well, again, I'm super exploring, I love exploring things, especially in tech. Again, as I mentioned, Counter-Strike. I think in my maybe I was basta high school days. Sanay na ako mag-LAN, 'di ba? Sanay na ako mag-connect ng mga
Mm.
computer. So I have a skill set in a way that I just learned from from other people. And yung time na yun, hindi pa uso yung Google, no? But in a way, hindi uso yung Google as knowledge center, 'di ba? But as I work already, like sabi ko, hindi naman pala lahat nakukuha sa school talaga. Kasi when I was in Starbucks, my first job is really like, just to run sales report, a bit of a script, no? In fact, I'm not into programming that time since my course is I'm more of a robotics, no? Yun yung course ko.
Hmm.
But I know how to program because of assembly, but walang nagturo sa akin, right? Yung school kasi .NET yung tinuturo, so hindi rin aligned dun sa like gusto kong gawin. So I really, since yung college, ano na yun, as in Google talaga. I mean,
Mm.
I'm proud, what do you call that? They always have that meme, di ba? I am a proud graduate of Google University. I can say that. And yeah, everything naman, like in terms of work, no, when they appreciate that you really can do the job or the task that they gave you, and also you have your leadership skills, characters, etc. Your character, etc. So yeah, I think it will really it will really happen, just happen, diba? And also, sorry, yung tanong mo about Bitcoin and Ethereum, as I mentioned, I really love searching the internet. In fact, yun nga, parang I go to the forum, mga hacker forum, ganyan, before. Of course, not hacking anything, but more of like learning how to, let's say, do SQL injection, no? Just for the hobby. Then you will encounter, there's blockchain pala, etc. And it's not professional, right? It's just I'm just that time that I'm so curious about it. I can't even apply that to my work. Kasi iba yung ginagawa ko. But because I have the resources, because I have my workstation, I have my PC, I have my laptop na medyo okay, so I experiment.
Grabe, ganyan actually yung parang story din ni Bill Gates, if I remember correctly. I think tumatakas pa siya nun sa super obsessed niya sa computers, and tumatakas pa siya para makapag-computer. So parang you really have the you really have the, kumbaga, curiosity nga rin, and nag-grow yung talent, na-hone yung talent because nagkaroon ka rin naman ng resources to hone that, and then pinanganak ang iyong mga kumpanya, sila Bayani Chain and si Hacktiv. Now, doon naman tayo, kasi so naging expert ka na rin sa tech, so na-hone na yung skills, pero yung entrepreneurial side naman. So, I mean, it's not easy to start a business, 'di ba? I mean, risky siya, and it's really something new. So, paano naman nangyari yun that you really wanted to establish a company? And later, may tanong pa ako on how you grew that to 40 people.
Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurship got cooler kasi, like, when Social Network, the movie Social Network started, and there, diba, like sila Zuckerberg, like these kids are now a billion-dollar company, etc. You will see Steve Jobs launching Apple, diba? Parang these are cool guys, diba? But sometimes when I look back to that specific parang point of view that time, to be honest, entrepreneurship is not cool. It's really hard, no? It's not a battle of intellect, it's a battle of stomach. I mean, maybe you can ask questions about that later, how to run the business. But I was able to, like, in a way, I was able to paano ba, like, I really like it. So this is the thing. I don't like entrepreneur because I will earn a lot of money. Though when I was in high school, I have that thing already because I'm the one who has skills into, like, googling, no, or doing something in the internet. So yung mga kaklase ko, nagbabayad sa akin ng pera para ako gumawa ng project nila. Alright? Now, from there, I play Ragnarok. Yung time na yun, college days. Mga third year, fourth year high school ako, Ragnarok days na yan eh. So, bago, online na, MMORPG, di ba? High school days. So, so I was able to gain money. So I think that was my first entrepreneurial venture. Then sabi ko, pwede naman palang kumita through of service, no? So that's a service kind of business. I don't even have a product. I know my skills. And then I gain a lot because of my corporate experience. No, I gain a lot. In fact, I call that, of course, we know it as a human capital. And the good thing about, human capital, you don't need money to gain that capital, no? I realized that I'm really good at this specific task, no, or a specific specific endeavor, diba? Na I'm super highly skilled with that. Kasi I do that every day, diba? So when I'm implementing ERP, ang dami kong role na inupuan, no? I became a developer, I became a functional consultant. I learned how to do debit credit. I know how to to reconcile books. I know how to like set up manufacturing in ERP, 'di ba? I know how to do purchase orders, etc. So that specific those specific experience in learning and implementing ERP system. Maybe I implemented 100 projects already with ERP in my lifetime. So when I decided to create my own business, I know already what is like the balance sheet and also the income statement because I do that for in my profession, di ba? And yeah, and then after that, then I said to myself, like, again, the first motivation is when you're in the corporate world, I have so much idea, but they don't approve my idea.
Mm.
Imagine in 2016,
Mm.
I already want to launch a blockchain, in a way company, but of course my boss won't let me do that, right? I foresee that
Mm.
I will eat the world in at 2016. My boss won't let me do that. So I mean, when I got out, parang for me it's freedom. Secondary na lang yung money but it's really freedom for me. Then yeah, then sabi ko, pag ginawa ko to, like, of course, sanay ako ng may sweldo, di ba? And sagot
Mm.
lahat, 'di ba? So for me, I'm having a good pay that time, but then I think I reached a VP level, no, and when I was in corp. But sabi ko kung gusto ko magkaroon ng sarili kong mga invention or company, I cannot be just mediocre, right? I mean, if you want to be, this is what I learned. If you want to be 100% successful, you need 100% focus and attention, right? You cannot get the 100% success that you want if you're just 50% for that, diba? So yeah, that was yeah, my story.
Oh, grabe, grabeng story. So, grabe no, from a college dropout na naging VP level sa corporate world pero na-realize na kumbaga if you really want to do what you want to do, yung freedom nga to do your own innovations, you really have to start your own business, your own company. And I think yun yung main motivation din talaga I mean there are pros and there are good things and bad things naman siguro in if you stay in a corporate, if you do your own company, pero I think it's in also your personality na parang you really want to start and build new things. So that's why you started itong company. By the way, when you started, so si Bayari Chain ba muna or si Hacktiv? So ano nga ba
Yeah.
yung story nung mga iyong company?
So I had my first startup called Raven. It's a prop tech company.
Mm.
From there, of course, I met my partners. Then I created Active. Technically, yung Active, it's not supposed to be a company because what I want to do is just to replicate myself. So in 2019, I was awarded as the first Microsoft MVP for business application here in the Philippines, and I just helped the community in terms of Microsoft technology. So sabi ko, ang daming field implementation. I just want to have to be consultant and earn kahit paano big money, big amount of money kasi that's specialized skill. And then I realized, what if I replicate myself, 'di ba? But what if I create a framework that what I do, and from there just get projects, and after getting projects, then I just hire. Right. So I started like 3 people, mga co-founders ko. Then after that, I just hired freelancer, no? Parang di ko sinasabi. Parang hindi, full-time namin yan, pero di nila alam. Kasi when pandemic happens, we don't need to go to the offices of our clients. So yeah, we're super productive in just like maybe 3 months or 4 months of active, we sold around 7 million worth of services already, no, pesos. So and because we're dealing with enterprises. And then from there, parang ako, I have an itch, no, of like, kasi Hackted medyo service oriented, but I have a vision to have at least 10 companies before I get 40 before I become 40 years old. So I'm still following that framework, and yeah, and then when so I have sorry before I really go to that. So the context is why I created a blockchain company ng 2021, 2022. Because I always look technology, no. I always look at 3 things, no, in terms of technology. Democratization, dematerialization and also demonetization. Meaning, kung ginawa ko tong Bayani Chain nung 2015, hindi pa masyadong demonetize. Mahirap pang magbuo, mahal. 'Di ba? Hindi pa rin siya masyadong democratized at wala pang masyadong tools that time, no? And hindi pa siya masyadong dematerialize in a way na mahihirapan kang bumili ng mga kailangan mo like cloud computing, no? But when pandemic happened, everything accelerated. So I was able to put parang sabi ko, this is the right time to do it. It's not too early, it's not too late. In fact, blockchain is still emerging. So yeah, we have available tools already. What I just need to do is to execute.
Actually ang ganda ng story 'no, kasi it makes sense really. I mean, medyo ano siya, kumbaga medyo logical siya naman in a way 'no, hindi siya parang abrupt decisions din ano. So, basically in the corporate nga you honed your skill but actually also gain the confidence, na parang may confidence ka that you can actually run your own company din and lead it kumbaga 'no. So, and then you wanted to replicate yourself kasi you know you have the talent and skills then to build tech. That's why you made Hacktiv. And correct me if I'm wrong 'no, so basically si Hacktiv parang nagpo-provide siya ng somehow software development or tech services ba
Enterprise.
for other companies? Yeah, and then napalaki mo siya kasi mas maraming clients na nakukuha, so may pangpasweldo ka din sa mga tao dun sa company, right? And then si blockchain tech na andiyan naman na all the years pero timing din na magaling ka sa tech, you know blockchain or you can actually easily learn blockchain given your background and then sumikat na siya sa buong mundo and may need kumbaga ang ilang, entity dito sa Pilipinas with regard to ayun nga security ng information. So, sumakto din yung timing na merong may need and you have the company. So, now si Hacktiv since tech din naman ng blockchain basically and software, kumbaga ano rin siya, software din siya. So, kaya pinanganak si Bayani Chain to solve that particular problem. Is that right? And so, papaano niyo naman nakuha ang inyong mga clients paano niyo nahanap yung mga clients na kailangan ng blockchain services? I'm just curious about that kasi medyo niche pa rin naman ito na ano, I mean, hindi pa rin naman siya gano'n kasikat, So, parang risk pa rin siya somehow if an organization will pursue this, So, paano lang nangyari yun? Maybe ano lang, kahit not full details, baka medyo may private information, pero parang paano lang nangyari yun?
I think because you create demands as well, no? It's not really convincing power. It's more of like, there's a power on I think being honest and being a advisor to your client, diba? Na you don't really sell the product but you're selling the vision, diba? Of like, siguro maybe in the next 10 years because AI is also coming in, AGI, etc. We really need a database that can validate if this specific document or person is really a person, right? So something like that. So sometimes you need to sell the vision, but especially for emerging tech, no? But on a low hanging fruit perspective, you need to also identify their pain points. For me kasi like people naman buy because of two things one is if they're so painful already, diba? Or it's pleasure, right? Or it's an enhancement. No? So blockchain for me, it's not like, an immediate need, no? But it's a pleasure or for me it's an enhancement to the existing resources. And because we believe that blockchain is going to be the next internet, Web3 as we call it. So yeah, you just need to be honest that maybe you don't need this, but at the end of the day, in the next coming years, and you will not notice that there's a pain point that's gonna be resolved by this para hindi ka na gumastos sa mga temporary solutions.
Yeah, but speaking about that, ang ganda ng pain and pleasure ano. Ang ganda ng parang ano niya, parang ano rin siya dichotomy. Pero I think somehow it can be both for for the government din kasi the government needs to protect itself from mga hacking din, mga pagpa-falsify ng information. And it's true naman may pleasure aspect din kasi right now somehow nag-iinvest, I believe in what I see ang government sa deep tech sa advanced tech. Ang daming mga AI implementations, blockchain implementations din. So, I think both din naman and sakto nga talaga din yung timing kumbaga. Ayun, siguro let's wrap this up na Paul. Maraming salamat sa pag-share ng iyong story.
Introducing Aim High. Smarter construction management starts here. Monitor costs and progress with real-time insights. Plan ahead and adapt with streamlined scheduling tools. Make data-driven decisions to avoid costly delays. Increase efficiency and profit with Aim High.
Ano nga ba ang vision mo talaga for Hacktiv na rin but also for Bayani Chain? So what are you building on pa further? I believe you're a great visionary din eh. I mean in what I see from you. So ano ba ang vision?
Yeah, maybe it's not my vision. Siguro I'll just maybe change that question. All of my companies that I created already are just my tools and vehicle, no. But the vision really is to help the Philippines to become second to first world country, and of course, in my kids' time, sana. Diba? We are we we are the most tech savvy people in the world. That's why we're the social media capital of the world, diba? You will also be surprised that cryptocurrency adoption, like we're always in the top 10, we never got out of the top 10. And this e-wallet, as you can see, if you go to research about their user, one e-wallet that is our client has 90 plus million user, right? So the problem here in the Philippines is we are always the sandbox of these companies that came from, maybe Singapore or other country, and then test their thesis here, no? Because we have the data, we have the users, again, tech savvy users, yung mga bata, no, that can still do tech. If we're not gonna be entrepreneurial, especially on the tech side, which I think we're good, and in a way, I called it the builders ecosystem. If we will not promote it, not only startup but builders, no, like inventions, like talagang yung like an invention that I think can change the world. Now we're just super afraid because we're not leading, we're following, no. I think we can be leaders, no, not only with BPO but cybersecurity, AI, especially blockchain. So yeah, I want to. I can't monopolize the love for the country, no, but I mean, at least kahit papaano, some people are really like for example, students, diba? That they can have at least a model na parang, hindi naman pala kailangan mayaman ka or sobrang talino mo eh. Makakapag-start ka naman pala ng company and create something good, no? So yeah, I think that's the vision for me. Like, masaya na ako if makikita ko yung Philippines na maging second world country in my time, maybe. But yeah, I'm creating 10 tech companies. I have 4 so far. So I still need 6. Is there any logic about that? No, that's just my magic number. Whatever is that. Diba? Pero yeah, I'm creating something for health tech. I have now infrastructure tech, which is blockchain. And yeah, I have wala lang akong consumer tech, but I have also a fintech that is based on blockchain for tokenization of minerals like black sands, mga ganyan. So yeah, yeah, I just want to help the government maybe for us to be able to reach that point.
Yeah, pero grabe na true yung sinabi mo about about the Philippines being multi-follower. We have lots of talent, pero unfortunately, nagiging mas follower tayo, no? So, maybe with Paul Soliman nga, no, you're also leading as an example, eh. That's actually the good thing here, eh. And that's also the reason why I keep on doing the podcast. Kasi I really like talking to leaders and entrepreneurs like you, na parang you're actually setting you're kumbaga leading the Philippines na hindi lang tayo followers. We can actually also build our own companies, build our own products, do our own innovations, and build our own organizations and tayo naman ang bibilihan ng ibang bansa. Hindi lang tayo bili or kuha ng technology sa iba. So, ayun sa nangyayari nga apparently yung mga talents natin is nagwo-work for other companies. So, it's time na our talents will work for ourselves and really build. Kumbaga, we're actually building the Philippines din. I totally agree with your alignment about the Philippines. So, grabe ayun. Maraming salamat, Paul. I'm actually very honored to have talked with you and actually I'm surprised na ano 'to, parang ano ba, naubusan ako ng salita, pero na-inspire ako kasi na parang um sana dumami pa, yun nga, as your vision and mission na sana dumami pa ang mga entrepreneurs like you and I hope with what you're doing magawa nga natin yun. Ayun, so maybe let's end our conversation with that. And by the way, if our listeners pala want to know more about you, want to find more information, how can they contact you or how can they find more information? So maybe you can lead them to your social media channels or maybe website.
Sure. Well, just Google me, Paul Suliman. So, I think ako yung unang lumalabas, yung LinkedIn, no? LinkedIn. So, I'm most active in LinkedIn, Twitter as well, and Facebook. But, yeah, just follow me in LinkedIn. I think, minsan if I have a good updates, then I update them. I update via LinkedIn. And usually, if we have community calls, no? Especially with Microsoft and other tech stack. So, pag sinipag tayo, medyo nagba-vlog din tayo, but maybe just wait for the book that I'm creating. So yeah.
Oh, wow. And by the way, I saw you yung recently or actually earlier this year na yun, yung nasa event ka and you actually asked Vitalik Buterin of Ethereum. So actually, I mean ako personally, I'm a fan of those people. I mean I'm also medyo nakikialam ako sa blockchain tech, crypto tech, although hindi ako expert pero yeah, I mean natuwa ako na actually you asked a question. Di ko nga maintindihan yung question, masyadong complicated pero ayun, grabe kudos sa iyong mga ginagawa talaga. And parang I feel you na yung motivation mo talaga dito is I think it's somehow a personal story din. Pero it's really also I can see really na you're you're building a reputation, you're doing your companies not just for you, but actually for the country. I see that in you. So maraming salamat, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much to our 52 patrons. This episode is super powered by AskLex PH Academy, our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and more. Unawa, driving digital transformation with secure, legally enforceable electronic signatures and robust AML compliance. Schooltech, all-in-one AI-integrated school and learning management system. Better Support, a Manila-based BPO company. They are offering a referral program for anyone who can bring in new clients. Let us know if you know any Western-based business that might have a need. Britanna, cloud-based enterprise-grade ERP solution that fits the small and medium business budget. Wonder Brand, data science-driven brand strategy and design company for emerging markets. Fail Coach Miha Matlievsky, business training, coaching, and consulting for startups and SMEs who are scaling or finding product market fit. Drive Manila, Philippines' largest peer-to-peer car rental community. East Point Business Outsourcing Services, one-stop shop for streamlined business solutions for MSMEs such as business registration, bookkeeping, and more. Doon, Philippines' first fully insured peer-to-peer car sharing marketplace. Hire Business Solutions, provider of the most configurable cloud-based payroll system in the Philippines. Divicode Technologies Incorporated, IT solutions specializing in software development, blockchain smart contracts, digital wallets, and cybersecurity. Mata Technologies, Philippines' premier provider of virtual tours and maps for LGU's real estate, tourism, and private businesses. Smile, consent-driven digital employment verification service to make smarter decisions faster. One CFO, CFO services, bookkeeping and tax and payroll processing for startups and small businesses. Mamiki Super Pet App, Philippines' first ever one-stop mobile app for pet products and services. Ignite Careers, career matching platform for Filipino talent and hiring companies in the outsourcing industry. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. NutriCoach, personalized nutrition and weight loss programs for you. This episode is powered by Wasteless PH, Tech Tribe, Yay, Uplift Code Camp, Board Prep, Dohe Philippines, Edfolio, Hive Rooms, Kazam, CodeSham, Jure.ph, Big Giant Games, Agile Data Solutions, Hustle PH, Pahatid PH, Founders Launchpad, Pareto Consulting, Contact RFID Business Cards, Sirius MD. Support the podcast through the links in the description.